talking basketball. They're fucking dumb as shit. They talk about basketball, but they will make dumb ass jokes.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Pod Don't Lie with Sam and Stav. We are here with a little free agency trade off-season edition. Shit's getting fucking wild, baby.
So many players moving around in one day.
It's crazy. I mean, this week is going to be the fact that free agency basically happens for a week. Like, I mean, what is it? It's November 17th, and the
season just ended.
Season just ended, and it's starting in 2 weeks. Training camp's open in 2 weeks. It's crazy. It's fucking wild to think about, but here we are, and some insane moves happen. We were like, should we record Monday morning? And then we were like, let's give it. Maybe something will happen. Little did we know, fucking Chris Paul, the Lakers, the Blazers.
My man Kelly Oubre's in OKC.
That's
you know
right,
he's furious.
We've still got the Harden rumors going on, and then the biggest trade, the most consequential trade, the current MVP of the league gets a hugely made over team. The Bucks, I got to give it to fucking, what's that guy's name? John Horst, their GM. Know. He's young. Yeah. He's like a 37-year-old GM. He literally started.
You should know this stuff. This plays a huge. Yeah, it is John Horst.
Yeah. See, I did know it. Thank you very much.
I mean, you showed up naked. I didn't expect you to do a lot of research.
I'm naked in a fucking undisclosed cabin in the woods.
I just saw you turn around with the butt. I was like, oh, I guess we're not wearing pants on this podcast anymore.
No,
I didn't realize I was doing a pod with Jeffrey Toobin.
My dick is just below frame. Perfect. Just below. If we, what if I just had a hard ass dick?
I know. Look, this isn't the New Yorker stuff. You can do whatever you want.
You're right. Yeah, Sam's gonna have a tell-all. I invited you over for drinks, and I sucked you off. No, Harry. That's our producer. Harry got the job. I did a casting couch for producers where I forced Harry to beat off in front of me. That's how he earned the Hard Dick Harry moniker.
You showed up like Costanza in that photo shoot, just on the couch.
That's right. I'm like, when I talk about podcasting, I get all hot and I get all heated up. Why don't we both take our slacks off, Harry, and discuss our visions for the podcast? But anyway,
first off, it's not just an offensive move adding Drew Holiday. It's a defensive move against a rival in the Boston Celtics who very much wanted him.
That's true. That was we were talking about that. That was a very interesting, like, hypothetical for Drew because everyone just assumed Kemba Walker was not, the Celtics were going to make him available. But then when they started getting into the Drew Holiday discussion, it's like, oh, fuck, what if they trade Kemba and they say, because Danny Ainge is a heartless cocksucker. We've been over that. The man is an unfeeling Mormon prick. Yeah. Even though they're supposed to be nice people. I saw the South Park episode. Mormons are all blonde and, offer you cider or whatever the fuck. Not Danny Ainge. That motherfucker will trade you no matter what. So Kemba, we could have seen him trading Kemba. God damn it, is Sam frozen? Sam is frozen yet again, folks. This motherfucker refuses to buy a laptop. This happens every single episode now. Cock sucker. Okay, folks. Well, we're gonna come back with Sam in a couple minutes here, so no reason. I mean, I could talk about the fucking trade solo, but I don't think. You know what? I have plenty to discuss, but let's wait for my dear friend Samuel and his fucking piece of shit MacBook Air. All right, folks, we are back. Sam and his soft dick computer, whereas me, I'm over here with the Alienware. I'm here with a gaming laptop.
I'm gonna have to just bite the bullet soon, man. I'm really.
My shit's glowing, dude. This laptop is usually used for fucking hardcore. You're losing to Koreans at StarCraft or whatever the fuck.
I'm like, I believe in this computer the way I believe in the Knicks. So I'm like,
dude, you gotta ditch the franchise.
I have the Julius Randle of MacBook Air
of processors. Anyway, so we were talking about the Bucks trade and we were talking about the Celtics.
Danny Ainge is.
Yes, that's right. And so, dude, I was actually before I realized all this was going to happen. The scenario, I actually meant to text you this, but I got so fucking high I forgot. What I was thinking would be hilarious is if the fucking Celtics finessed it and they got Drew Holiday for Kemba, and then traded Gordon Hayward for
Turner.
Miles Turner, and then that would have been a fucking scary team, actually.
Wow.
Smart, Drew, Miles Turner plugs up the only fucking
Hayward
problem they
goes
had.
home. He gets to team up with Oladipo. Both of their knees collapsed in game
That's
one.
right. Between them, they have half a knee. But Gordon, I think would have been a nice. He listen. He had a taste of him playing in Utah, Boston, and that for the Pacers. He would go for the fucking Republican NBA fan trifecta. There's no other team that overvalues white guys more than that.
Different type of blue collar whites in all those states too.
Exactly. But they would all love Gordon. Get the Plumlees on there. Indiana there should be one team that's whites only. There should be the MAGA team, and they're like the Washington Generals of the league. It would be good for storylines. We can agree.
Yeah, make it more like WWE.
Yeah, remember the golden era of the WWE when it was just identity politics? It was just the Iranian guy versus an American cop. That's what we need more of, dude.
Is my thing echoing? For me, it is.
You sound good to me.
Let me just pause it for a sec, because it's. How about now? Yeah, it's my garage band.
No change over here.
So maybe can we just use the Zoom recording, because my garage band is
That's fine.
Echoing.
That's
All right.
fine. That's fine.
Sorry.
No problem. Anyway, so obviously the Celtics did not. My little pie in the sky scenario, which I hope some Celtics fans think of and they get sad because of how good of a team that would have been. Make me a fucking GM.
It would have been good.
That would have been a fun team. But what the Bucks end up doing here, they get Drew Holiday, which kind of came out of nowhere. I got to be honest. There had been some rumors that the Bucks were actually looking after PJ. They were inquiring about PJ Tucker and Roco, Robert Covington, who I thought, why the fuck would the Rockets trade them? And then obviously it seems like they've traded Covington for.
If they somehow hold on to Harden, it's the meanest and also the fun. He will average 42 a game.
Yeah.
They'll win nothing.
Yeah, but maybe having Kareem's record, maybe it's like, look, you'll be the highest scorer of all time.
Nah, he's out. Here. He wants to win. He knows his window is closing.
I agree with you.
I didn't see Holiday going to the Bucks as even a possibility. But after Chris Paul gets traded to the Suns, they probably were like, shit, we need a guy who can defend and hit the three, which Holiday can do.
They never, yeah, exactly, and they never seem to want to be involved with the Chris Paul sweepstakes, and it didn't make sense to me, but clearly this is what they were after. And I also have to give him credit for the Bogdanovich sign and trade is a genius move that I didn't see coming at all.
We teased it a little bit though.
But I didn't think, I don't know. I guess I didn't think
You didn't think Sacramento was that dumb?
Yeah, it's crazy.
They
Listen,
are.
I know, but Vladdy's out of there, dude. It's literally, you know what? They're just Knicks West, dude. That's what sucks.
I don't want to say it, but
They are. They're Knicks West, baby.
I mean, I can't believe they gave him
Except I would rather have Vivek Ranadive be my fucking owner. But anyway, who's to say?
Well, you know what? The Knicks haven't bidden on anything.
Nothing yet. Although Westbrook's still out there making me nervous. And when the dust settles and Westbrook, it's just the Knicks and Westbrook looking at each other like the two nerds at a fucking middle school dance. You know what I mean?
It's not fair because it's not fair for Westbrook either, because that's like the most classic move for him and the Knicks after this. They almost are made for each other. You get dumped.
Former MVP with a knee problem.
Harden and Durant have both kind of fucked him over. He's like the
And
Jennifer
then what if they get together? He really is. Yes.
He's Jennifer Aniston.
He's Jennifer Aniston.
We just want you to find someone.
We're rooting for you. It's not gonna happen. Look, a championship's gone. We just want you to be happy.
Yeah.
We just want you to meet like just a guy who works in an office at this point. Jen Aniston is not getting married to a celebrity. It's not going to end well. She needs a guy that just fucking, has a fucking regular ass job. No headshots for Jen.
Totally.
And that's what the Knicks
makes sense. But the Knicks are going to hurt him for a whole nother reason.
That's true. He needs to go to Charlotte. That's his destiny.
They won't give up that 3 pick. That's what I was saying.
I told you you can't do that. That's a crazy move.
It's crazy, but if you expect crazy, Jordan's that crazy.
I know, but hopefully, or here's what could happen: depending on depending on what the Rockets trade, maybe they just hold on. Maybe Russ becomes Russ in Houston, which is such a downgrade if you're Houston, because if Harden is your guy, at least you have a puncher's chance. You have one of the top, 3 offensive players.
They lost in 5.
I know. I'm just saying, at least you can delude yourself into thinking, who knows what Harden does
because of his
Whereas
offense.
Russ, there's no thought. It's not going to happen. We have too much fucking data proving that motherfucker will never pop off in the playoffs.
So here's the thing:
you could say the same thing about Harden.
Yeah, well, Harden though. Here's the weird thing about Harden in Brooklyn is that Kyrie wanted out of Cleveland because he wasn't the guy. He's the third guy if Harden comes to Brooklyn.
Right, that's interesting. We should talk about the full Harden stuff later. Let's
save it.
Because it's because we've had enough actual trades, but the Harden stuff is fascinating. But let's go over the specifics of this Bucks trade. Yeah. So the Bucks and this was the first major. The Chris Paul thing was announced, and we'll also talk about the Dennis Schroeder trade to LA. But those two things, the Paul thing had been talked about for enough that it seemed like it was really a possibility.
Phoenix is a hot league pass team next year, though. Right now,
it's interesting. It's definitely they've done something interesting, and it depends on how they order these transactions. They might be able to get a free agent because they have. If they order it a specific way, they might be able to also use $15 million in cap room. I think we talked about that a little bit on the last episode. But so the Bucks in the first kind of surprising transaction of last night. They trade. At first, it was reported Bledsoe and George Hill, and first round picks, right? Mm-hmm. And when I first saw that, I was like, "Damn, that's fucking good. Good for them." That's fucking. They basically trade their platoon of point guards. They basically melded Bledsoe and Hill into one guy with Drew Holiday, somebody who can shoot threes and play defense. And he's just a better offensive player and a better defensive player. You could say he's just everything Bledsoe does, he does better, and he shoots the three, and he doesn't have anxiety.
But the miles on Hill as well. It's the fact that they had Korver and George Hill on that team. I'm like, oh yeah, LeBron couldn't win with them years ago.
Right.
And you want Giannis to just win with their fucking broken down knees? No disrespect, Hill shot the ball very well, but
Hill was listen. If you got Hill, if you get the same Hill you got last year, that's kind of a tough loss. He shot the best. He shot the highest percentage in the whole fucking league.
Well,
he's turning 38, I think, which is insane.
And also, Holiday had such a low bar last year because he was a great defender on a bad team. Now he comes in as a great defender on a great defensive team. Right. And he's expected to hit the open threes a lot. Yeah. And he's now the third guy, right, offensively after Middleton.
I mean, Bogdanovich might be the third guy.
Wow,
honestly.
That's a good point. Bogdanovich is.
I think Holiday's role on this team is. You're the fucking point guard. You create a little something, but also,
are they good enough? Are they a good enough backcourt creation wise? Holiday and Bogdanovich.
It's interesting. Well, let's just say this: it's absolutely 100% an upgrade over their starting five. So
no question. But are they creative enough to go against teams like Boston and Miami?
I don't see why not. I mean, I think. Look, would you have liked more of a Chris Paul type? Sure, but Chris Paul's also one of the greatest point guards of all time, right? Yeah. Who really are these guys that create that much offense? Those guys are invaluable. It is guys like Luka. It is I don't know who the fuck, unless it was a Chris Paul, who were they really getting? Whereas that's not purely Drew's game, but I think especially when they add Bogdanovich, you just have so much shooting with Bogdanovich, Middleton, and Drew.
Lopez.
And Lopez.
Brooke, right? You lost Robin, you keep Brooke. And
you replace Bledsoe, who's just not a good shooter, and then Wes Matthews, or Wesley John,
Wes Matthews,
sorry.
Who I love. He's been in the league too long to be a rotation player on a championship team, in my opinion. No disrespect to Wes Matthews in his prime, total beast, but
I disagree with you. I don't think
we clashed on this.
I don't think he.
You came around at one point though.
Well, I came around, but I'll say this. A starter, sure. You can't have Wes Matthews on a minimum contract being a starter, but I think he could, if the Bucks were able to retain him, especially on a minimum, I would be thrilled. I think he's
but he's not getting minutes now. Now that you have DiVincenzo off the bench.
No, there's no DiVincenzo.
Oh, he's out?
Dude. So the Bogdanovich trade is DiVincenzo, Ersan Ilyasova, and DJ Wilson for
Right.
Bogdanovic.
Okay.
So here's what's interesting, right? We can talk about this starting five for a bit, and they're great. The starting five's vastly improved when we
The
talk
bench
about.
took a hit.
But the bench is non-existent. And here's the thing: because they did a sign and trade, they can't pay the luxury tax. They're at the apron. What it's called. I don't exactly understand the rules and the reasoning behind it, but they cannot go over. All they have now is like the remaining cap room, which I think with only 7 people on the roster, I think it's like 10 million. And then they can only go over 6 point something. And they're literally not allowed. Like, you can't pay the luxury tax. So they are super hard capped, and they basically have to add players at the minimum, and maybe second round picks. Like, second round picks get paid like $800K a year or whatever. So
That's crazy.
they really are kind of fucked here.
That's crazy that they make $800K a year, and then it's like in this version of the NBA they make like $400 or $500K a year.
Right. And yeah, and
it's
then
crazy
after
that
managers,
you make the NBA and that's your salary. That's fucking crazy.
And after and after your fucking agent or whatever gets a pick, those second round picks are coming home with like, and after taxes, that's literally like $100K, dude. Like, with all the shit that's going in escrow this year. But anyway, so this is the only place I would say they're kind of fucked, because if they were able to go into the luxury tax with this starting 5 and then the 7 that they have on the roster, I would say this is a fucking, and there's still brilliant moves, and more than anything, I gotta hand it to them. This is relationship saving stuff. It's perfect timing.
Yeah.
Where it's like you've been fucking up for like 6 months. You've just like not been answering your girlfriend calls you bitch button her. She sees you like just liking every like women, not just Instagram models, but like women, she sees you like liking their fucking titty pictures or whatever on Instagram, and she's like sending you the screen caps, and you've been fucking up, and it's like, oh yeah, she's gonna dump me and go somewhere else. And then like you just nail her birthday. You take her on like, you just take her on like a nostalgic, wherever your first date was, you make sure you get the best table, you get a nice fucking, you get some jewelry or whatever. And she's like, wow.
You remember her shoe size?
Her shoe size. That's big.
That's a big one.
And so then you're like, would you like to maintain this relationship for the next 5 years? And that's essentially the Bucks. They've been fucking up. But he
doesn't have to sign a supermax now.
He doesn't, but but I have to hand it to them, because Giannis is the kind of guy who,
he's loyal.
He's the only person that it's even been a possibility, right? Like, the only people who've ended up signing these supermaxes are like guys. It's like John Wall and Russ. I think. I don't think anybody else has taken it. I think everyone else would rather play wherever they'd like to play. But I could see, like, the smart thing for Giannis would be, don't sign it. Just wait to go to next year. Like, but. He also gets paid, I think, when it's all said and done, like $250 or $500 million if he signs that contract. Like, he makes like it's like a $300 million contract.
It's huge. I mean, that's the money now is insane. Also, yeah, you make a good point. He needs this type of team around him. Like, we've seen, you can't have a guy like Bledsoe who also has a questionable shot. Right. That's why you play Brook Lopez at the 5. That's why Chris Middleton is so important to that team as a 3-and-D guy. And that's why these 2 additions in the starting 5 are going to make a difference. I still think he needs that mid-range Jay for the end of games.
Listen, Giannis definitely does. But here's the thing. This floor, if your final 5 are what we just said, Holiday, Bogdanovic, Middleton, Giannis, and Bledsoe, everyone on the court except Giannis can shoot. He's just going to have more space. He just is. Like, and that's going to help him a great deal. And so yes, it's not super ideal, but here's the other thing. What I like that they did is they set up a team around Giannis where it's like, look, you can grow with these guys. Like,
totally.
You have 4 more years. Bogdanovic is, I think, late, maybe 29 or 28.
Holiday is 30, 31.
Holiday's 30, but it's still like the next 4 or 5 years, we set you up with a team. Whereas in the past, even if they got Chris Paul, you could argue that it's like, look, we're making sure you can have a good year. If they got Chris Paul, they'd almost force him to leave. But this is like, stay, Middleton, Bogdanovic, Holiday. These guys are maybe a little older than you, but your primes line up. So
Yeah.
This is really well. This in terms of the biggest thing that they need to worry about, which is retaining Giannis. This is a fucking huge win.
I will say
for the
this:
Bucks.
are there a lot of teams though that don't have two stars in contention? Are there?
Um, let's see. Lakers have obviously LeBron.
Yeah.
You know the Clippers,
Brooklyn, obviously.
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? I would agree with your line of thinking last year, where it's like Giannis had nobody, but it was him and Middleton, who's like half a star.
Yeah.
Now I think Holiday, Middleton, and Bogdanovich are all kind of that level of player.
Like
where it's
Miami, where anyone can kind of go off.
But you know what? Their starting five at least is better than that. You know what I think?
Oh,
I
here
think
it
so.
goes, baby.
No, I'm serious.
I
Except
think-
for Bam. Okay, Bam is Bam, right? Like that's
Yeah.
their biggest weakness. But in terms of, let me think about it before I say that. Giannis is better than Jimmy and Bam. Bam is much better than Middleton.
Yeah. Well, I would start with Giannis versus Bam. I wouldn't start with
Giannis
I would
versus
start
Jimmy.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Giannis is the best player.
Yeah.
But the
Bam is
two,
great.
their top two are closer to that level than
Bam and Butler are most likely all-stars wherever they play. I don't say the same for Middleton. Middleton has been
right.
an all-star
True.
because
That's true.
Giannis elevates him. And I think Middleton's a great shooter, great defender. We have seen his problem creating a shot for himself,
Yeah.
which you can say for a lot of great players,
Yeah.
but
Defensively, I think that. Well, I get that's hard to say. Damn,
Jimmy's a great
it's
defender,
interesting.
man.
It's interesting because the Heat have better shooting depending on who starts, and defensively,
it's a
they're-
great series though now.
That's
It
a
wasn't
great series.
It wasn't a great series this year, but if
Right.
Giannis stays healthy, that's a fucking banger.
yes.
And Giannis has got a revenge chip on his shoulder.
I'm loving this, dude.
So does Jimmy though. Jimmy's pissed too.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what the fucking Bucks do because, okay, in my dream scenario, Giannis does not sign the supermax and keeps because we all know teams like this can always end up being a fucking train wreck. But you know what? I gotta give it to the Bucks, even though they traded. I mean, 3 future firsts.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's
That's
tough
the
when
one-
it's tough when you're trying to get someone long term because if this doesn't work, you're kind of fucked, right? I mean, we saw the Rockets do it.
Right. But here's the thing. I think again, if you're Horst, why not do it? Because if you lose Giannis, you're not staying there. You're getting fucking fired.
You also have to give your star a chance. I mean, Toronto's the ultimate team that went for it and it paid off. You
Right.
didn't get to re-sign Kawhi, but you got the championship. If Milwaukee wins a championship and Giannis, he would stay. I think he's the type to stay. But say he doesn't, you still brought a championship to Milwaukee.
Totally.
That's your job.
And the thing we also have to recognize about Giannis, again, he's not a traditional superstar in a lot of ways. And the thing about Horst, like I was saying, came up in the organization. He wasn't like he went from like assistant GM. I don't know where he worked in the front office, but he was so low on the rung that like I don't know where he was at the time, like where he was working in the front office. But like when Giannis was just a rookie, he literally like they're friends. They've known each other. Like he was helping him out. I think he literally taught him how to drive. I think
God.
John Horst, when he was like an assistant in the front office, was like taught Giannis how to fucking drive.
That's a good meeting right there. He's just driving Giannis somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, remember when you didn't know how to use one of these?
right. So clearly this is like, it is family shit. I know it's like corny
Yeah.
to say that, but it's a small town.
Yeah,
and
dude.
Giannis seems to be loyal. So
Also, people that grew up outside of the U.S. in poverty, like there is something about them that really like is searching for family. Like we've seen it with Enes Kanter, who like for obvious reasons
is banned from his home country.
Right. I mean, but then like every team he goes to like makes them his family, and like
right.
I think Giannis has that loyalty for sure.
And Giannis also seems like the kind of guy who wants to like has a little Dame in him, where it's like, let's win here. So, they're giving him a shot, and if you're them, obviously you're hoping this gamble works. But Horst's work is not done because he's got to figure out how to. He needs, especially now in like
he needs
the
a
COVID,
bench.
He needs a bench, and this is like.
But you put your team in a good scenario. Also, when you have a great starting five that can compete for a championship, you will get a couple bargain bin vets.
Well, sure, but the thing is, think about all the other contenders. I agree with you. I think the absolute number one I just think Milwaukee is like third or fourth on that list because people want to play at both LA teams before them, and then
but they also want minutes, and LA has a pretty
that's true
has a lot of
well
guys.
that's not true though because there's a lot of minutes on the wing available in LA. There's a lot of minutes on the wing.
Yeah, but you're still coming off the bench.
Yeah, but you're playing real minutes on the Lakers. You live in LA. You're with LeBron.
I thought you said Clippers. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
no, yeah, Lakers. But let's so
that's true. I mean, depending on where Kuz goes.
Yeah, and you have to think he's going to go
traded.
somewhere.
Yeah, you have to think. But hey, man, it worked out for Kuz. He got a ring, so
he did get a ring. So anyway, but yeah, like basketball.
So where do you place Milwaukee in terms of contenders for next year, as of right now?
As of right now, as of right now, I mean, I still look. I love Giannis. I think they're as favorites with anyone to win the East. I don't know who you put number one there, but I wouldn't necessarily put Miami as number one. I think as a Giannis fan, I have to say he's the favorite to get out of the East. I mean, if they can figure out how to get round out the bench, it's not going to be easy. Obviously, who knows what Philly does? Who knows what Brooklyn does? But I think
Philly can somehow land Harden. I don't think they will, but if they somehow can, they're in the mix now. Yeah.
I just have
I think
to
you got to put
Giannis.
Brooklyn in the mix, no matter what they do, just because you have a healthy Kevin Durant.
Yeah, for sure. And the Celtics and the Heat.
Yeah.
I'm not as worried about the Raptors.
Fun, dude.
I'm not worried about the Raptors, but the top 5 in the East are interesting for sure.
Yeah. Oh, the East is fun again.
Yeah. And the bottom the people will be fucking scrapping to be in the playoffs. So, but just to put a cap here on the Bucks trade, basketball wise, I think it's fucking gorgeous. I think this is going to be a really good. I mean, you just improve. Wes Matthews wasn't that bad on defense, and Bogdanovich is not the strongest defender, but he's not horrible. He won't fuck you. He won't kill you. And Middleton is
George Hill. George Hill's older. He played good D, but he's an older guy.
Hill didn't really start. I think overall he's just for being younger, he's an upgrade. But Matthews was good. I have to admit, Matthews is a lot. He was good on defense. But anyway, and he started, which is hilarious. A guy on minimums was starting, but I love it basketball wise.
Overrated though. I mean, Ginobili didn't start, right? So I mean, starting is kind of overrated sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Even though this starting 5, you'd think this is really going to test Budenholzer to not play a start. You're going to need to play your starting 5 a ton.
Dude, he's got to get rid of that fetish. He's got to get rid of the pegging Budenholzer theory, which has been proven true.
Proven true time and time again. So I'm looking forward to seeing at least the starting 5, but I'm worried about the bench. And if Horst pulls this off and he puts together a really nice team around him, huge salute to him. Already he's done a really interesting job. Bogdanovich is really the key. The Kings, listen, I like Dante DiVincenzo, but Jesus fucking Christ, he's the centerpiece around a Bojan Bogdanovich trade.
It's weird. I think the Bucks play race his stock a little higher than I think it is. I think Bogdanovich is clearly better, but the Kings being the Kings. This is what I said earlier about Buddy Hield. When you invest $94 million in your shooting guard, you're not going to do that to another shooting guard. They fucked up.
I know, but trade Buddy. I can't believe they're not trading Buddy, who doesn't seem to want to be there.
Does he have that much value at that price? I don't think he does.
He does, bro.
I disagree with you. He's a great shooter, but I don't think
it's not. What is it? 24, 22?
What, a game?
No, a year. A year. I mean,
more.
I don't know. I think he does because he's such a good. Again, if it was Al Horford for Buddy Hield, that would be a fucking great trade.
On the Sixers, he would have that value. I think in general, he doesn't have that value. I think a team that desperately needs shooting, maybe. In general, no.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me see what his fucking.
I mean, they traded for. He was part of the DeMarcus Cousins trade, who the fucking Kings owner was saying like, this guy's the next Steph Curry, and you're like, oof.
Well, here's the other thing about I don't know. I like his trade. Like his salary is high, but it's 22, it's 27, 24 this year, but it descends. He's got a 23, 21, 19 in the final year when he's 30. I don't think it's a bad contract, and I think he's a deadly shooter and sure
defensive liability.
I know, but this is a
huge
league
42.9 from the field, which is not amazing for a shooter.
I guess, man, but
I just think his efficiency is a problem. Maybe being on a better team would change that. I mean, maybe playing with
exactly.
Look, I'm not saying it's over, but
Anyway,
Anyway,
so
let's move
Kings,
on.
the Kings again. I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but salute to them. And so yeah, like we were saying, a lot of other fucking trades. And let's go. Let's talk about your boy. Let's talk about your boy, fucking Kelly Oubre. That what
Well,
everyone
two
will
of my
know is the
boys,
Kelly
I
Oubre
love.
trade.
I love Chris Paul too. I mean, shit, and I can't believe how many picks to the fucking. How many picks do the fucking
It's
Thunder
insane.
need? You know what it is? Have you seen Queen's Gambit on Netflix?
I actually have not.
It's like she takes these little pills that make her really good at chess. Like it's
Oh hell
like a
yeah.
Valium type thing. And she just starts saving them. That's what he's doing with first round picks. He's fucking Queen's Gambiting those first because at certain points, like how many is enough?
Well, okay. You want to break down
Yeah.
2020 draft? They have so this draft this
They have
year.
16 total in the next few years, I know.
So in this year, not that great. I think they traded it already for. I don't remember where it went, but they have the Nuggets first rounder, they have the Lakers first rounder, and they have their own second rounder.
Uh-huh.
And I think they traded. I don't remember. I don't know why they don't have a first rounder, but next year they have their own first rounder. They have the Heat's first rounder unprotected in 2021. They have the Rockets first rounder.
Wow.
Pick swap with either their own.
That could be a good pick.
And they have their own second. Yeah, it's hilarious to think it could already be a good pick. Then in 2022, they have their own first rounder. They have an unprotected Clippers pick. They have the Suns first rounder now, and they have their own second rounder. And then 2023, they have the best first rounder between Thunder and Clippers. They have the Heat's first rounder, lottery protected. Their own second rounder. This goes till 2026, bro.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
The Suns are going to be fucking cool.
Yeah,
The Suns are going to be a really cool team, dude. I know you hate on my man DeAndre Ayton. He was 18-11 last year.
Yeah, I'm not convinced about Ayton.
Okay.
I'm not.
Well, what if he plays with Chris motherfucking Paul?
I'm with you. Listen, but here's to be fair, it's like Ayton is in that zone that like Murray was in, or even Booker was in, where it's like these guys that I admit have talent, but something about I just want to see them do it.
Well,
right?
look what Chris Paul did for OKC. Maybe that's the hope. He opens up. I mean, shit, man. He opens up Devin Booker's game. Devin Booker's not going to get a double team quite as much as he used to.
Yeah.
And then you're going to bring in someone, be it Danilo Gallinari or Bertans, the Latvian.
I don't know. Here's the other thing. This is a big move by their fucking shitty owner. He doesn't like to spend money. But who knows? Is he willing to do that and put someone in the luxury tax, or does he think he's already proven what he needs? Because this is a move that's about proving to Devin Booker as much as it is actually winning. It's a move. It's similar to the Bucks trades where it's like, look, Devin, we're trying to put a real contender around you. We're trying to put real talent around you. So
is Devin Booker Dame Lillard, or is he James Harden in terms of personality?
he seems more Harden to me.
Really?
If the getting pussy rumors are true, not that Dame doesn't get pussy. He just does it. He just does it in a dignified way. He's a family man, so he can't have his shit all the way out there. But come on. There's no way he's not getting pussy.
Devin Booker is a very handsome man. Apparently, he's got a huge penis.
Huge dick, apparently.
And look, he's a pretty boy. He's getting that Kardashian ass.
Absolutely.
He's laying up points. He's also got a chip on his shoulder. He's got the Dame chip, but the Harden poontang.
Yeah.
So we don't know exactly what we're going to get with a Chris Paul edition. Like, is he going to respond to Chris Paul's intensity? I think he will.
Well, I'll say this. He's closer to Harden in that, Dame I just see as I was only thinking of it in terms of dedication to the franchise, not his relationship to Chris Paul. Sure. So I think Devin Booker is he will move if he wants to, right? But I also think Phoenix for some reason is not really NBA players seem to like playing in Phoenix. Yeah.
You know
what I mean? You can get some Arizona State pussy. I don't know.
We didn't hear that gangbang story in Cleveland. All right. That's happening in Phoenix.
The Valley Boys are getting their dicks sucked left and right. That's true. So it's not, even though it's not a huge market, it seems to be a market NBA players like. So now it's a matter of
huge city.
Yeah, huge city. But these guys are all about their brands and shit. And It's not, Phoenix is not really a place like, New York, Chicago, LA or whatever, right? Or even, I guess, even some of the East Coast Philly and Boston are big ass markets.
I guess so. It's weird because Phoenix is such a huge city. I guess they don't have the diehard fans that those other markets have. But like,
I just mean in terms of like media relevancy, like for them growing their overall like whatever fame. But so we'll see. I mean, and so to what they traded was it's CP3. They get CP3 back, and they traded your boy Tsunami Poppy, Kelly Oubre.
Love Oubre.
Ricky Rubio, who was he tweeted out what a business with an upside down smiley face. You know, Rubio's not happy to be playing in fucking Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
And I believe they got that pick from the they got a pick from the Suns too.
Yeah. I mean, do you like this move for the Thunder? I think also it's the Thunder being like, hey, we're not going to trade you to a crap team, CP3, because we appreciate you.
Right. Certainly. I think that's part of it. I like the move for everybody, actually. I mean, except the loser in this is Ricky Rubio.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. and Oubre. You think Oubre wants to be there?
Well, Oubre, at least, here's the thing. But both those, here's why the Thunder are so smart. This also, they're going to flip these guys too. Oubre is going to be valuable at the trade deadline. Even Rubio, people are constantly looking for more ball handling.
Well, he's expiring,
and he could help a contender in a playoff run.
And this could be big for him also because this is not a good team in OKC right now. He could put up numbers, increase his value, and get a bigger deal. So he's got to look at the positive there. I know he's going to he's going to be having to take some private jets on his Raya, because those women don't live in OKC. No. But I like Oubre's game a lot, man. I love a lefty. I love that he can play some wing D. I love that he's got some swag. And that motherfucker is the black Vinny Chase. Look at that. He rules.
We know you love Oubre. We know if there's one NBA player who you would allow, if he was like, hey, Sam, can you just nudge my dick?
I would nudge
you. Don't have to jack it, but just give me a nudge.
I'm straight. Yeah. I would nudge.
With a closed knuckle, right? Like a knuckle, not even the fingertip.
Knuckle. But they're skinny jeans, so I feel everything.
Oh, no, his dick is out. It's out. It's out, yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that anymore.
Nudge Kelly Oubre's
We had very different things going on in our head.
Nudge Kelly Oubre's dick for prosperity for the Knicks for 5 years. You do it 100%.
Oh, yeah. You didn't throw in the second part.
Skin to skin.
Dude, I had a nightmare the other night.
Shaft to thumb knuckle.
I had a nightmare the other night. This is a real nightmare that I was GM of the Knicks. And that for some reason, Tyler Halliburton made it to 8, and I passed on him because I was drunk.
Oh, my God.
And everyone's like, Tyrese, sorry. I really want him, though. I do. Yeah, So everyone starts booing me. I'm like, fuck, I didn't know he was available. Like, I was that bad a GM.
Yeah.
I didn't know who was available. I was like, fuck. I think he's going to be – I want him on the Knicks badly.
Yeah, I think he's definitely a good player, and just a steady hand, and he's a really good shooter, even though he shoots weird.
I just want some hope, man. Just give me some fucking hope.
So I think CP3 to Suns makes a lot of sense. I think he just completely upgrades Rubio, right? Like
yes.
In just like Rubio did some stuff, let them play Devin Booker off the ball a little bit.
Totally.
This, you get a lot more of that. And
shooting.
You get better shooting, better defense, just a basketball genius, which Rubio has a high basketball IQ, but it's nothing compared to, Chris Paul, one of the
point
best,
motherfucking God.
God. So I fuck with the move, and I think again,
and it opens up DeAndre Ayton. I really think it's going to improve his game, dude. What big man doesn't get exponentially better?
Right, playing with Chris Paul. That's true, and he loves lobs, and Ayton is that pick and roll is gonna be really nice. Oh, yeah. And listen, Oubre is not nothing, but they have Bridges. They didn't trade Cam. Sarge? They didn't trade Cam Johnson. I don't know if Sarge is a free agent. I don't know if they're gonna retain him or not. It depends. Listen, all of these teams have a lot of interesting moves to make after these, but these are good. These are big.
Cole Millsap, I believe, is a free agent.
Millsap's out there for sure.
Don't know if he fits. He's only gives you maybe like 20 good minutes a game or so, but he's a
Millsap. It's an interesting guy to fill out that roster for sure. I mean,
can shoot the three and play some defense, and
exactly.
He's tough. He's a big body.
Yeah, and you might be able to get him for the MLE. We'll see.
I thought Portland was a possible destination for him, but they made their own.
He would be nice. Listen, he would be nice there too. Actually,
they need a small forward though right now. I think. because you're going to play Covington at the 4.
You think so? Interesting.
I think you have to. Yeah, in this modern NBA, I think Covington's
so would you just start Gary Trent Jr. and have Covington?
Yeah, that works. Yeah. I love Covington at the 4. I think he's a 3-and-D guy. I mean, he looked good on Houston. I can't believe how many first-round picks have been swapped for Robert Covington in the last year.
I know. Well, that's the thing. Houston traded what, 2 first-rounders, or at least a first-rounder, or something like Minnesota got 2 first-rounders back.
Yeah. Houston got him back.
Portland. But that's the thing. Portland's fucking picks are going to be dog shit. I mean, I don't know, 16 in this year. Maybe you think you can get a nice little role player at 16. People seem to like the middle of this draft, but dude, that is such a bad trade for the Rockets, and it's a great trade for the Blazers, right?
Even though you gave up 2 first-rounders, you like it?
I love the trade. I think you
got to go
sense.
all in. Dame has gone all in.
Again, and it's shown you that, yes, exactly. Covington is perfect, bro.
Perfect.
I mean,
Blazers fans should be happy.
But you're right. If they got another guy, if they literally could just clone Covington and play him at the 3 and the 4, that's the team you want. And Nurkic is a really good defender, but if they got one more guy like that, that's interesting.
Well, you will hopefully have a healthy Rodney Hood next year who gives you offense off the bench, which they didn't have. You have, as you said, Gary Trent Jr., who looked like a stud in the playoffs and bubble ball. So, you're right. You need, honestly, a younger Trevor Ariza, which kind of what Covington is.
Covington is just an upgraded Ariza for sure.
Yeah.
Not as good a shooter, I don't think, but a much better defender.
Ariza's this is not how I wanted to come back to Houston.
Exactly. He loves going to the Rockets. Ariza loves and you know what? That's what's so fucked, because with the beginning of the end for these Rockets, the beginning of Fertitta being a cheap fucking piece of shit was him not bringing back Ariza because he didn't want to go over the luxury tax.
Right.
And here we are full circle where, okay, great. You just had to give up one of your star. I mean, that's the other thing. If you're going to trade Covington, fine. But he just got I don't know. You feel like you could get more for him.
But now that I think the fact that you traded Covington for nothing, that Harden and Westbrook are gone.
Yeah, it's about to be a fire
The fact
sale.
that Harden is going to be in New York and not on the Knicks.
Well, we don't know that yet.
Dude, he's coming to you can't.
Okay, why the fuck would the Rockets? Here's what I don't understand. Why the fuck would the Rockets make that trade?
Why would they make the Covington trade, dude? They're fucking dumb. And also,
Drew Holiday just got 3 future firsts and 2 pick swaps, and and a solid player and George Hill, right? You don't think what? Unless the Nets.
If your star player who's been so good to your franchise says, I have 2 places I want to play, Philly or Brooklyn, are you not going to honor that and try to get something back?
You don't think Philly could do a better deal than fucking Karis LeVert? Ben Simmons is the better deal.
That's
straight
true.
up.
But are they willing to part with him?
I just think if I was a team trying to trade for Harden, I would be pissed to see what Drew Holiday got. Because he basically got the fucking Anthony Davis treatment. So it's what is it going to take to trade for Harden? What's Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie, and who else? I don't know. Who the fuck else are they talking about trading over there?
I mean, basically every young player.
I think it's only 3 guys, and unless Brooklyn trades every fucking first round pick for the next 10 years, I don't see.
Here's the other thing, though. Some people are trashing that I'm not, but Ray Allen was like, those guys don't fit together.
I agree with that, actually. I agree
do.
Too.
I think defensively you're going to get fucked up because Kyrie and Harden are not a good defensive backcourt.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, there's only one ball, dude. I guess you stagger minutes, but at the end of the game, they're all playing. Kyrie is not going to be the 3rd guy. Just mentally, he can't do that.
Right.
And then Harden also, there's going to be ego shit. Those are 3 of the most popular players in the NBA.
Totally.
And just in terms of name, in terms of brand, their fucking sneakers are all popular.
Right.
They are all massive stars. You think any of them are I'm a 3rd banana? Fuck that.
No, especially when Harden I guess Durant just was escaping people thinking he just made a super team. Would Durant even want this? It's hard to even say.
Yeah, I think he's pushing for it.
This just keeps fueling my Brooklyn. I have to hand it to Brooklyn. My take of there's too much going on. This team is going to fail. ever since I said that, they keep adding more and more shit. The coaching staff.
Oh,
is
Jared
just
Allen was the other one.
Jared Allen. Okay,
Which
that's.
not nothing, but it's not James Harden level. Also,
I know.
this
Unless it's every fucking first rounder.
But here's the other thing,
Because
like
Karras.
you're right though that he fucking Durant just escaped this. On some level, he knows that Kyrie is not a good enough second option to beat LeBron and AD.
I don't know. I wouldn't say that necessarily.
Really?
They have a chance.
They have a chance. You would bet on this Brooklyn team to beat the Lakers.
No, I'm on the record that this Brooklyn team, there's too much going on. But I think they still have created the type of roster that right now is a title contender, and you have to at least play it out.
That'd be hilarious if they got Harden and just brought him off the bench, just like OKC.
Yeah.
Just fucking right back to who he was. Because look, the one difference between this and OKC, you're not getting the rebounds and the intensity that you get in Westbrook, and obviously these guys are much better than they were back then.
Of course.
But Kyrie is a better shooter.
Either.
He's a better shooter.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's offensively, it would be crazy. It's insanity. Like Durant and Harden are maybe the two best offensive players in the game, probably.
Yeah, probably.
I mean,
and Kyrie is probably the most creative.
Yeah, so it would listen. I would love to see it out of curiosity, but I also would prefer for Harden to go to Philly and see. I think Harden and Embiid is fucking interesting.
It just makes the East more fun. But then also, like, fuck, man, the East is going to be tough. If that's like,
yeah, if Harden comes over too, that's fucking. Then it does open up one spot in the West, which is interesting because, it was supposed to be such a bloodbath. So teams like fucking the Timberwolves and the Grizzlies will be really happy that there's that one team is fucking self-destructing. But I'm interested to see what happens for sure. But Harden coming over to the East, damn dude, that's like
stacked.
Especially if it's Philly, and then Ben Simmons.
My issue with Harden though and Embiid,
yeah,
they're both such great players. Are either of them gonna like be the team that bitches the other team into shape? Like you need almost like a Chris Paul mentality to lead.
No, I agree with you. Those two guys have a lot of the same attitude, quote unquote attitude problems, and they've had the same like, conditioning problems too. Those motherfuckers are always kind of breaking down in the playoffs, which is it's doubling down on the same kind of guy.
I like that we're shitting on these guys like conditioning problems. I'm going to physical therapy today because I slept wrong. So,
yeah, I have to take breaks. I can't do all of my 10,000 steps at once. I need walking with my fucking orthopedic shoes.
I was playing basketball.
Joel Embiid is too fat.
5'7" Asian friend Dory, and I fucking tweaked my back out completely. I can't walk.
And I think because we are also clearly what we've just shown is our credibility as fellow athletes, and we can say that those two guys simply don't have the heart. They don't have the physical prowess that we've been cultivating.
I think that would be a fun team though. And then also you get somehow Harden. If you somehow get Harden playing with Embiid and Tobias Harris, if you somehow pull that off, that opens Tobias's game.
Yep. Or Richardson fits really well, I think, in that team. I think he's
maybe, yeah. His shooting is not amazing with Simmons, but it'll be better with Harden for sure.
Yeah. So, I just think that would be a better. I think that would be. I'm rooting for that move. And with Brooklyn, it's almost like they're already good. I'm already interested. Don't put Harden there. Put Harden somewhere where it's kind of more interesting.
But also Harden turning down. It was like a big news story that he turned down a 2-year, $103 million extension with Houston, and people were like, I can't believe it. Really? He's got money.
Right. He's
doing okay.
Yeah.
It's not like that was life-changing money for him. Also, it's like, wouldn't you rather? You're not going to be happy. These guys are basketball savants.
Yeah, and it's not like I think if he can take a similar deal with another team, like. Maybe he loses out on $8 million or something, and it's like for James Harden, I know that's the difference between playing where you want and where you don't want is definitely, especially if you go to a bigger market,
and
you're
ring,
making that,
and that changes your legacy. I mean,
for sure.
I just think the Brooklyn fit. It's almost unfortunate that that's the team because they're just teams he fits better on.
Yeah, for sure.
He just doesn't really fit. He and Kyrie are weirdly similar in terms of just needing the ball. Durant can play off ball better than either of them.
Yeah, Although he showed, that's the thing. Everyone says that, but it's also Durant when he was at Golden State. He was like, "Yeah, I want to play a beautiful basketball," but by the end, he just wanted to run pick and roll, and he wanted isos. So it's like
Well,
that. I don't trust it from all three of these guys, from
well, I don't.
Kyrie,
Yeah,
Durant,
it's
or
gonna be
Harden.
bad defense and a lot of one-on-one ball. That being said, man, if you're KD, I'm sure at some point you're like, yeah, I love the game. I have a high IQ. I want to play a beautiful, like, or I want it to be like an orchestra. And then you play for like a little while and you just face up someone one-on-one and you're like, this motherfucker can't guard me. Like, what
Yeah,
do we,
yeah,
we
yeah.
don't,
What am I doing?
we don't need an elaborate plan to beat fucking Memphis. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, just
right.
give me the rock and let me do a couple hezzies. I'll pull up. It's KD, man.
Yeah. So I don't
He is
know.
maybe the most unstoppable. I got a question for you. In their prime, one-on-one,
Hmm.
KD or Kobe?
Oh fuck.
One-on-one in their prime, both of them. So I'm saying like 2000, like 8 Kobe
I
versus
mean, Durant is 6 inches taller than Kobe, 5 inches taller.
Kobe. Kobe might be stronger though.
I don't know, not weight. I mean, what does he weigh? You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
when he's that much bigger of a guy, I would just take Durant. Sorry, man.
Wow.
No
Okay.
disrespect to the
It's
Mamba.
I think it's close. I don't know.
It's close just because of the will, but
And also
Durant
you got
is
to take
fucking
into
huge.
account the fact that Durant looked up to Kobe and Kobe he will
We'll
use
play
that.
mind games.
Yes, dude.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like Jordan, he would go be friends with
Does
the
that mean you
guys.
think that KD could take Jordan one-on-one?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I do.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's taller. I mean, he's 7 feet tall. He's a better shooter. Yeah, you'd have to guard him all the way to the 3 point line, which you
Hmm.
don't have to do with either of those two guys. And you probably could easier because of your wingspan. Um, I mean, that's
So are
just
you
how
saying
good
that
KD
Kevin
is.
Durant is the best one-on-one player of all time?
Maybe I would be interested in like peak LeBron just because of that strength difference. That's a strength difference right there. And he was. I mean, all of these guys are. I mean, just 6'6" is a little too short against Durant. Is what I'm saying.
Okay, I got you.
Um, but who knows? It would be interesting to watch it happen. The other trade, I mean, so many fucking trades have happened. The other one we have to talk about is the Lakers did a little something. They're getting Dennis Schroeder, for the 28th pick in this year's draft and Danny Green's contract. What do you think? What do you think? We haven't talked about this
I
one at
think it's a
all.
good move. You lose. Here's the problem with the move. You're going to lose playoff Rondo. I think they knew he'd want too much money. Playoff Rondo was a huge part of that run,
Playoff
man.
Rondo might fucking go just next door, go right to the fucking Clippers.
Yeah, that's which is a scary thought.
That
'Cause
would be fucking disrespectful.
playoff Rondo doesn't give a fuck at this point. He's in mercenary
He
phase,
really is,
man.
dude. It would be such a dick move to go from Celtics championship to Lakers championship, and then from Lakers to Clippers.
He's Willem Dafoe and John Wick. He's like, yeah, I'll go whoever I want to
That's
go
right.
with.
That's
I'm
right.
fucking.
He's a
I'm just
fucking free
chilling.
agent.
Dude, yeah, I love playoff Rondo on the Clippers. That would be fun as hell.
It's what they need. I mean, hey, maybe he. I mean, I don't. Again, Doc doesn't seem to want to reconnect with his point guards, but tell me that guy wouldn't be nice on the Sixers if they trade Ben Simmons.
Yeah, with Simmons makes no sense. They're too similar,
Um,
but Rondo.
I'm already
also,
in my head. It's already Harden. It's already Harden at the Sixers, and they have Rondo, and that's fun.
The Clippers need a big man, dude. They need like a tough big man.
I think Zubac can actually play a lot more. I
Really?
think Zubac can kind of grow into that role. Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't.
Don't
What the
you think
fuck is
that's
gonna
their
happen
glaring
with?
weakness?
For sure, without a doubt,
Yeah.
But there's, I mean, that exists.
And PG, obviously. I mean, PG just fucking
Yeah,
crumbling.
PG's mental frailty. He did get married to his stripper ex, which
I saw that.
salute to her from being offered you know what she did? She's James Harden, who got offered the $50 million for 2 years. She got offered $1 million to have an abortion, and she was like, "No, I'm gonna bet on myself.
Sure.
I'm not taking this 1 year deal.
I think
I'm looking for long term stability."
Did we not list her as a secure the bag all-star?
Absolutely. Every time she comes, they got officially engaged. So I just wanted to.
Good for her.
Good for her.
And him. I'm sure he's happy, but
Yeah, good for him too. Paul George was trying to be a little self-aware. He captioned the Instagram picture, "She got a ring before I did,"
That's funny.
It's funny. Yeah.
That's good.
But I'm worried about that locker
I like
room.
that he made his engagement about his own bitterness.
Yeah.
As, she got a ring before I did. It's like, well, you shouldn't have fucking collapsed. I mean,
Yeah.
also, look, Kawhi collapsed too for all the fucking shit we talk saying Kawhi
In the fourth quarter, they were both dog shit. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyway,
They gave up a 3-1 lead, dude. That's insane.
I know.
You can't have two superstars.
I'm with you 100%, bro.
Okay, so
Schroeder, the trade is so.
I like
okay,
it.
I like it too, especially like you said, especially if they have to. He's a playmaker.
His jump shot is much improved. He's a playmaker. He is kind of Rondo. You lose some D, you get some O. That's how I look at it.
Here is my problem with it. Is that the Lakers really don't have that many. Again, they're a team similar. They're not hard capped like the Bucks are now, but they don't have that much flexibility. And Danny Green's contract, it's almost like, why Danny Green? Danny Green, you might have been able to flip to somebody else, I think. Whereas you could have traded what the Thunder want more than anything is that pick, right? So you could have traded some other contracts that you don't need.
Right.
For Schroeder, and then maybe gotten a little something more for Danny Green. That's my only, or especially if you were trying to get a bigger contract, you would have needed Danny Green's salary to package with, let's say, Kuzma or whoever. So,
that was the rumor for DeRozan was Kuzma and
right. That seems to not be happening. Right. So now I'm curious.
I don't get why you do that trade if you're San Antonio.
I unless you really love Kuzma.
Value.
Unless you love Kuzma, which I don't think they do.
I feel like he and Popovich are not kindred spirits.
Yeah. That's, although who knows? Maybe they're both.
Kuzma's like, check out this ass pick, and he's like, I'm trying to work on a new offense, dude. Like,
yeah,
come on.
I don't know. I could see Popovich being drunk. Popovich is just checked out, drunk as fuck. He's like, I'm just fucking. I got one more year to retirement.
Do you think he's on the road to retirement here?
He has to be.
Could you see him on another team though?
No.
Really?
No. Popovich?
If they give him like a front office stake, no.
Fuck no, dude.
Really?
Yeah, I can't see that.
You can't see him in like a Riley type role where he's chilling just a little more.
I think he'll do that with the Spurs in perpetuity.
Okay.
I don't think they want to lose him as their like head of state, even if he's not their actual coach. He is the franchise.
My buddy Vic Henley, rest in peace, really funny comedian, told me a story about how someone was trying to book him for this corporate in San Antonio, and Vic kept upping the price more and more. Mm-hmm. And finally, the woman just wrote back, "We could get Greg Popovich for that money."
We could get Popovich.
And Vic goes, "I guess I priced myself out of that one." It was a funny bastard.
That's great.
But yeah, I mean, shit. Yeah, you're right. He's San Antonio Royals. He's got to stay there forever.
I mean, there was that rumor before Steve Nash of like, if Brooklyn trades for him? That would have been weird. He doesn't want
to deal with Kyrie's ego.
Exactly.
I don't think he wants to come into Kyrie's ego. If Kyrie came to the Spurs, it's like, you're in my house.
Right. Or
if he goes to Brooklyn, Kyrie's a brilliant player. I'm not taking anything away, but like the ego is there.
For sure. I mean, unless they were like, please, unless those guys were like, we'll do whatever you say. We want to be coached. But yeah.
But they don't.
They don't. No, you're right.
They don't want to be coached. And it's like, I mean, shit, same with LeBron to some degree. I know Frank Vogel's a great coach, but like LeBron at a certain point was kind of like, I'm doing what I want.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I don't know, man. I do think the Schroeder trade is good. I think he's going to be useful for them, but
yeah,
they also, I mean, JaVale is probably going to pick up his option. They don't really need that much. That's $5 million. They don't really need. Avery Bradley's probably going to pick up his option.
What about Dwight though?
I think Dwight. I mean, Dwight might.
I think Dwight's gone.
I think Dwight and Rondo might be gone. So
if Dwight's not gone, don't you want JaVale? That was what they had on other teams.
I guess that's true. I guess that's true. Yeah, you're probably fine keeping him there at that. But it's like, I don't know, man. They've lost some of that depth. That, like. Danny Green, say he's trash. I get it. He misses his fucking whatever, but he was still pretty good defensively, and he still is a good shooter. So,
3 rings, 4,
3, 1 with each, I think.
Wow.
And
he was very good for the Raptors and for the Spurs, obviously.
So this is kind of I think Schroeder will be fine. I think he makes about the same amount of money, and they need that kind of guy. But I'm wondering if they were better off getting a higher priced player, using Danny Green's salary, and then I don't know. I was thinking you could find a cheaper ball handler somewhere. Wes Matthews, people have talked about he would be a good fit there. They've talked about him at a
Schroeder's
minimum.
much better. Schroeder
No,
was.
I just mean in the rotation.
Yeah, he was a sixth man.
Yeah, he was one of the finalists for Sixth Man of the Year for sure.
And he was a killer off the bench.
So we'll see. I'm still interested to see what the Lakers can do, how much more of the mid-level they can use. I'm interested in if Portland can do something else too. That'd be awesome too. So it's been a very eventful first day of free agency.
I heard Schroeder has been smoking some of that Cushy Dreams.
He's been smoking Cushy Dreams. That's right. Dennis Schroeder has been smoking Cushy Dreams, and that's why the Lakers said we must have him. They said, look, could we get Derrick Rose for less? Maybe. Could we maybe hold out hope and get a bargain basement ball handler? Maybe. But they were like, we heard those guys don't smoke Cushy Dreams.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a fucking no-brainer. We have to trade for the German that loves high-quality CBD, Dennis Schroeder. In fact, I heard he was smoking some of their Create strand.
Yeah,
that's what told him I need to have a little blonde puff of hair on my head. I think that's how he came up with one of the with a very inspired. No, he bleached his blonde. He bleached his hair.
Just at one part.
Yeah, what the fuck? How's that a birthmark?
I don't know.
Your hair gets blonde because your mom's pussy is too tight. Isn't that how you get birthmarks?
I'm sure Cushy Dreams appreciates the ad the way it was without working Schroeder's lovely mother.
So what's important though is that they have high quality ass motherfucking CBD that's lab grown, and you smoke it and you get right in the right mind frame to watch some fucking basketball.
Totally.
Just like Dennis Schroeder, if you want to smoke Cushy Dreams, where should the people go, Sam?
CushyDreams.com, right? And
that's right.
Pod Don't. That's that promo code. 20% off because you can.
Right, because you can. The best.
I love that
tagline.
Stuff, man.
Yeah, it's absolutely. I can't wait to be smoking high quality CBD and watching basketball in less than a month and a half. No, in 1 month, bro. December 22nd. We got a month and 5 days before the season.
Two corrections, by the way. Rodney Hood has declined his player option,
right,
with the Blazers for $6 million, so he's a free agent. And this just in. Rajon Rondo could receive a 2-year, $15 million offer from the Hawks, mid-level exception from the Clippers. So those are the two.
Wow, interesting.
The Hawks doesn't make a lot of sense for me.
Hawks, I don't understand what the fuck they're doing, man. I mean, they want to compete, which is crazy to me because Trae Young just fucking got there. Why the fuck are they letting that motherfucker do it? I mean, he's going to be under contract for 8 more years. They can match anything for 8 years.
He might average 30 a game this year, dude.
Why the fuck are they? They're talking about trading the 6th pick for more help right now. I mean, they were a Drew Holiday destination. They didn't get him, and so I don't know.
So Rondo is maybe Rondo. Look, the thing is, Rondo doesn't activate till the playoffs. You ain't making the playoffs, you know?
Oh, that's interesting. Is that yeah? I mean, if I'm Rondo, I probably just cash out.
That's in Rondo's contract. He goes, I don't have to try until the very end of the season, and they have to fucking. You want playoff Rondo? That's what you get.
So 2 years, 16. You said
15.
15. That's probably
a bargain,
good.
Dude. That's a bargain for playoff on a contender. For the Clippers, it's a bargain.
The standard do the Clippers probably have the taxpayer mid-level, so it's probably I think that's $6 million. So if you're Rondo, you're better off taking. I think if you think you can get another deal next year, you're better off taking the MLE to be with a title contender. I think. But maybe you just want to bank 15 more million at your career. I don't know how bad Rondo needs money. I don't think that bad.
I think he's doing all right.
I think he's made a lot of money in his career.
I mean, he was the first to complain about the bubble hotel room. He has been rich for a long time.
He's been very rich for a while. So, the Hawks. That's very. I can't wait. That's the other thing. We haven't even talked about the draft at all because of how many fucking trades happened. But
and there will be more.
There will be more for sure. By the time this fucking comes out, probably some shit will have happened.
I'm sure Harden will be.
No, I don't think yet. I think they're going to wait and see. I think we're going to wait and see to see what happens to the draft before Harden gets moved, I would guess. But it could happen around the draft. Who knows? Because that gives you a little bit more flexibility. So we will look. There's a lot we didn't get to because that's just how fucking crazy the NBA is right now. Draft is coming up Wednesday. People are really interested in what the fuck, what I mean, Golden State. Remember how we were talking about all this off-season shit? Golden State hasn't made a fucking move yet.
Not yet.
Brooklyn hasn't made a move yet. A lot of the shit we were talking about hasn't really come to fruition. So we'll see what Golden State. I mean, I'm still fucking all this trade shit is happening, and we still don't know who the fuck is going number one. So I don't know. Do you have?
It's been a while since we don't know who's going number one. I mean, Zion was so obviously number one.
Yeah, Zion, and then who went number one? What I heard the last few.
Also, a rumor that the Warriors could get Clint Capella and the Hawks move up to number 2.
That's interesting, and that would be a nice move, I think. For
Atlanta receives the number 2 in Kevon Looney. The Warriors receive the 6th pick in Capella. Is that worth it?
Oh my God, you get the 6th pick too. I would do that if I'm the Warriors for sure.
For sure.
Because they probably get Tyrese Halliburton, which I don't want them to happen. But if they get a big man and they get a young player that's going to be cheap for a while but useful, I would love that if I was the Warriors. I think that's a smart move. I don't know if
another one. I got another one for you.
I guess what the Hawks want Anthony Edwards in that scenario.
I guess.
And you just hope you pair him up with Trey and it works. I'm not sure. I'm feeling like Atlanta's not going to work out. I think they're rushing this rebuild way too much. I got bad vibes around Atlanta.
Here's another one.
That's Stavi's. It's not quite a word on the street.
This is Bleacher Report. I'm not even doing word on the street here, dog.
Okay.
OKC receives the number 9 pick, Troy Brown Jr., Thomas Bryant, Ish Smith, and Jerome Robinson. The Wizards get Steven Adams in the 25th pick.
Interesting. I wouldn't do it if I was I wouldn't do it if the Wizards. I guess if you're the Wizards, you're just trying to hold on to Bradley Beal and John Wall. But it would be fun to see what happens. And OKC is really just tearing it down and getting as many assets for as many things as they can. I think they need to get rid of Steven Adams for sure.
Yeah.
Fuck, so much shit is going to happen. God damn it.
Okay, can we do one or two quick ones more?
Let's do a couple quick ones. Yeah.
Hornets receive the number 1 pick in power forward James Johnson. The T-Wolves get the 3 pick, Miles Bridges and Terry Rozier. That is interesting to me for the T-Wolves.
I would love that if I was the T-Wolves. Why would you do it if you were the fucking... I guess because you get rid of James Johnson.
Yeah.
Wait, say the trade again?
The number 1 pick in James Johnson, and the Wolves get the 3 pick, Miles Bridges and Terry Rozier.
I wouldn't do that because all you're really getting... If you're the Hornets, you're getting rid of Rozier's salary, which isn't even that bad in the grand scheme of things. James Johnson has that huge deal that's expiring. I guess that's you valuing the number 1 pick that much, but I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Wow, here's another one.
Hit me.
James Harden to the Celtics, Russ to the Knicks, Jaylen Brown and picks to the Rockets.
What?
It's a 3-way trade.
How would that work? The Knicks get who?
Boston receives Harden and PJ Tucker. The Knicks get Russell Westbrook. The Rockets receive Jaylen Brown, Hayward, Kevin Knox, Julius Randle, Bobby Portis, the 14, 26, and 30 picks, and a 22 first-round pick, top 5 protected via the Celtics.
That's a fucking weird trade. That's a weird one.
Yeah.
I can't support it because I first of all, that's not enough. You can't trade Jaylen Brown and get Harden.
Okay, but that's more. No, the Rockets are getting more than just that. They get Brown, Hayward, Knox, Randall, Portis, three first-round picks this year, and a first-round pick in 2022. So that's more than the Nets are offering.
You need more first-round picks, but that's also for Russ and Harden.
That's a good.
You need more first-round picks, for sure, to make that work.
But you get a young player in Jaylen Brown who is interesting.
Yeah, but I think you have. I would rather have Karis LeVert
than Jaylen Brown. Jaylen could be a first-team defender type
in a rebuilding situation like that. I think probably.
No, I disagree on that, but I hear you. But I think Jaylen Brown is more value.
He has more. Well, yeah, probably. But I think he's not Ben Simmons. That's the thing. I would be holding out for Ben. If I don't get Ben Simmons from the Rockets, I fucked up. That's my.
You want Young.
Yeah.
And
Now who knows? Maybe Daryl can not only get Ben Simmons but also unload. What if he got Russ and Harden? Anyway, that's fucking stupid. That would be weird. But okay, we'll see what the fuck happens. So much is going on, folks. Keep it tuned here. Can't
we'll
wait
do
to see.
Patreon either Thursday or Friday after the draft. And,
after the draft, we'll be recapping that motherfucker.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. So enjoy the draft tomorrow or maybe today. I don't know. Probably tomorrow by the time this goes up.
Yeah.
Probably come up late today. But anyway, we're recording this on Tuesday. And enjoy the draft. If you're a transaction fucking junkie, now's your time. The next week and a half is going to be wild in the NBA. Thank you guys for listening. We will talk to you later in the week, recapping the draft for the bonus ep.
Cool.
See you, bros.
Later.